I'm Christian Abbott.
I'm Nathan Lavender.
I'm Sean Abbott.
And this is the Red Mist Podcast.
Hello, welcome to the Red Mist Podcast, Season 2, Episode 12. The Jimmy Vasser Target Chip Ganassi Ford Reynard from 1998 episode. Nate's all upset that we didn't go NASCAR on that.
It's okay. Sorry. I know where the 12 is in NASCAR.
Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, currently. Yes.
Currently.
Yeah.
All right, on tonight's episode, we it's kind of chock full of guests tonight. Start off with, we have Jim Paulette from the New England Karting Challenge, powered with pride. We have Alex Gomes, a longtime NHKA competitor and friend of the show, who competed in the ice race challenge that the New England Karting Challenge put on a couple weeks ago. We also will discuss a little Formula One, a little NASCAR from Atlanta. I don't know. It's okay.
Yeah.
But I have,
the Cup race was the better one.
We'll let Nate have his say, and then Nate and I have a little discussion. Nate and I have a little discussion about something else.
Oh, we will. Yeah,
for
we
a short
will.
time.
Oh my goodness.
I don't think Nate knows what it's going to be, but anyways.
I have an idea. I have a strong idea.
Then we're going to move on to Sebring, and we're going to bring in a special guest who attended the Super Sebring event, Mat Kortarski.
Yes. Yep.
Wow,
Mat Kortarski. Yeah.
Right. Mat Kortarski, who lives in Florida.
Yeah.
Friend of Nate's and Christian's. Matt was at the show race. Yeah, it was a show and a race. Yeah. Matt was kind of actually entertaining with some of his responses back to the guys throughout the weekend, of people he met throughout the weekend. So looking forward to hear from Matt. And then we'll have a recap of the Touring Car Challenge finale from Monza that took place over the weekend that Nate drove in.
Yeah.
So we'll have a recap of that.
Yeah, and we're going to try to have Chris Catalano on soon.
Yeah, way to blow it, Nate.
Soon. Sorry.
Yeah, you didn't need to. Anyways, we'll try to effort Chris for the next show. Anyways, all right. So let's jump into what was it, 2 weeks ago?
Yes.
Okay, so Jim Paulette's organization, New England Karting Challenge, powered with pride, did a guest appearance at is it the Extreme Ice Racing Series or Northeast Extreme Ice Racing Series? What was it?
It is the Extreme International Ice Racing Series, otherwise known as XIIR.
Ooh, I like that. And they were invited to do, I guess, be on the undercard. And is that pretty good? Pretty accurate?
I would say that is 100% accurate.
Right.
We were invited to essentially be a sideshow or an intermission act for the pro riders and drivers, and for 2 nights at the Danbury Ice Arena. It happened on March 10th and March 11th, so a Friday and a Saturday. Just to give you a quick recap of everything, 16 drivers showed up for the first night and 12 drivers showed up for the second night. I think that the New England Karting Challenge, powered with pride, we put on an excellent show. And it was actually so good that the owner of the arena commented on how good our racing product was. A big part of my series is to bring karting to people who may not otherwise see it, and to try things that people may not otherwise do. So there was no better way to take our concept, which is normally road race sprint karts, and to flip it completely on its ear by racing on ice, indoors, in front of a crowd, and basically in a venue we've never been. So there was no better way to start my racing series off than by taking all the rules and throwing them out the window. Starting off on our first night, like I said, we had 16 drivers show up, spread between 2 classes. The basically we had a 4-lap heat and a 4-lap feature for each group. It was basically the cadets and juniors, and then it was the senior heat, which was kind of an open, unlimited run what you brung. But we'll kind of go through it all from the top. So starting off, the junior feature, otherwise known as the cadets and dads feature, featured 3 cadet drivers and 2 adult drivers. The kids were they put on a really good show. They did a good job. They, there weren't any crazy incidents or anything outrageous that happened on track. Levi Plord was the winner of that, followed by Ryan Paulette, and then Sam Plord finished in 3rd place. And then from there, we went on to the feature event for basically the senior or the unlimited division. And we had a really good mix of karts there. We had 206 powered karts. We had World Formula powered karts. We also had a bunch of Ghost powered karts that showed up thanks to our friends at the, with the Pride Racing team. So the green flag dropped on that event, and veteran sprint car driver Jeff Champagne took the lead very early. And he got out to about a quarter of a track lead, which really isn't saying much because we were only pulling about 9-second laps there. But Alex Gomes, with his World Formula and with his hide-and-out ice tires, closed the gap and actually beat Jeff on the last corner of the last lap and won by less than a quarter of a kart length. So he won. Jeff went away in 2nd place, and I believe it was Ronan Rice who rounded out the podium, who was also a veteran NHKA driver. We faced a lot of adverse conditions with the pit situation. We actually had to pit across the street at the train station, and then it started to pour. And then it was only about 40 degrees. It was an environment which none of us really had ever experienced before, between the pits, between the weather and racing at night, things like that. But I gotta tell you, everybody who raced did a marvelous job. They had a great attitude. They put on a great show. I was so impressed as the unofficial guy in charge of our contingent. So really impressed with how everybody did. Moving on to the second night, things went a little bit smoother because now we all knew what was expected of us. We all knew what the racing product was, and we were a little bit more comfortable. So we both went through our practice heats, which set the grids for the feature. Starting off again, we had a couple more folks in the juniors heat. It was actually Sam Plord that won this heat, followed by Orion Paulette in 2nd yet again, and then Levi Plord got 3rd. I also raced in that heat. I unofficially won. It doesn't really matter. Teeing off on 9-year-olds isn't exactly my thing. So I was just running around and getting some time because I didn't get to race the first night. So moving into the feature, it was actually really interesting because we had 10 drivers that showed up for that. We had a lot of really, really good action. Now, this time, Alex took the green and he didn't look back. He pretty much dominated the whole race, and then Rich Hemingway was right hot on his heels by about a third of a lap behind. The real battle, and I got to tell you guys, I had the best seat in the house for this, just because I'm a mid-pack driver, and I get to watch other people do well, so that's usually what I do. So the battle for third was amazing. We had about 4 drivers in the mix. One of the Pride drivers was actually, he kept running wide and kept kissing the wall, and then Ronan would come in like right next to him. There's a lot of beating and banging, a lot of fun, a lot of sideways stuff. Really, really neat. And if I remember correctly, it was a Pride driver. I think it was Sam Catanese, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Sam Catanese. Yeah, he's
I believe it.
Touring Car Championship driver. Yep.
Yeah, he was the one that rounded out the podium, because what happened is, I watched the whole thing go down. I couldn't catch anybody because, let's face it, I didn't have a Ghost or a World Formula. I was watching this whole thing go down, and he did a really good job because one of the other Pride drivers, and I think it was Ronan, they swung it wide, and then they ran into each other. And they both kind of bounced off the outside wall, and then he came in and actually got the podium. It was really, really impressive. The racing product was great. There were tons of fans in attendance. There was live music bumping. We had a big screen in the back to where people could watch us. Like I said, it was a racing product that was completely unlike anything we've ever done before, and we managed it because of the quality of the drivers. I'm just an idea fairy and a flag waver. But the drivers that showed up had an amazing attitude. They really put on an exceptional race. And I am also proud to announce, and you guys can hear it here first, we are going to be turning this into an unofficial winter racing series next season. So we did such a good job that the Extreme International Ice Racing League has invited us back for as many races as we want to go to. So at a bare minimum, we're going to be attending the Portland, Maine ice race, along with Danbury, Connecticut, and any other New England events. So we're actually going to have an official rule set that's going to go along with that, and a little mini league that we're going to basically offer as a part of the New England Karting Challenge powered with Pride. So just so you know, it's not going to be a one-off thing. We're going to be taking it to the ice in 2024 and continuing to put on an excellent show for the fans and everybody else. And we're going to have a bright future ahead of us.
Well, Alex, I think you already have your ice tires ordered and ready to go, so I think I need to order my set for next year.
Yes, you do. You need to be in the driver's seat next time you show up to this thing.
I know. It was great to watch Friday night when I was there, but the minute I got there, I did what I've done the past 2 or 3 racing things I've done, where I go there, watch, and then immediately regret that I'm not in the seat. So that's not going to happen next time.
As it shouldn't. Yeah, you need to be right on my ass / I need to be right on your ass in the next one, which always happens no matter what we race.
Right.
So,
well, because
I totally expect that.
just like everything in this world, we are 2 objects trying to compete for the same space.
Correct. Same piece of real estate.
Not just racing, but in literally everything we do.
Yeah.
And I'd even add, in doing leagues with you two, I would always, come in third, but watching you two, it just was never, I could never guess the right one. I would guess Alex, and then it was Christian, and then guess, Christian, and then it turned out to be Alex getting the, heat wins in F1 Boston. Jeez, I can't imagine Christian, and I mean, dude, this ice racing, I gotta get myself a cart.
Yeah, you do.
Oh gosh.
Well, that's it. First off, exciting news from Jim.
Yes,
That's great.
Very much.
I'd like to get into the kind of technical aspect of it.
Yes.
I know when we talked to Jim had done the purchase of the ice tires when we talked to him a few weeks. And Alex, you and Rich did the same thing.
Yep. Yes.
Now, and I didn't get to ask Jim this question the last time. Actually, Jim kind of alluded to it. So you actually had to attach the studs to the tire.
If you didn't buy the tires with them already studded,
okay.
Correct.
All right.
You had to stud the tires yourself.
Did you do the tires? I mean, did you put the studs on or?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And
yes.
Jim
gave us the options, right?
Right.
There was an option that he found where you could buy the tires pre-studded, ready to go.
Yep. Or the studs.
For
right.
with studs already in them.
Yep.
And shipped to you for like $500, something like that, right, Jim?
Yeah, it was about €400 shipped from
Sweden. All right, so $475. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So Rich and I, who had been talking, right when this thing came to inception, and we all got the idea that we were going to do it. We were basically like unofficial teammates going into this thing, and I have to thank Rich for all the research and the help that he did in the preparation for this thing.
And the motor.
Because Jim, and the motor, yes, I used his motor. Because Jim gave us that option, right? And he was like, that, or you can buy the studs, and he gave us the link for the studs, the exact type of studs we need to use. And he's like, you can put these in an old set of rain tires. And I was like, okay. So Rich and I were talking, and it's like, well, I mean, how do you stud a tire? How do you go about that? And we're looking up some ways, and Jim had sent me a link to how guys do it for their motorcycles. And one of the first things the guy in the motorcycle video mentioned was putting a liner inside of the tire. And because my whole thing was like, how do you put studs, basically screws into your tire,
which is
and they still hold air?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was like, oh, you need a liner. Oh, okay. So I'm going online trying to look up ice go-kart tire liner, and I can't find anything. And I'm like, well, can you just buy liner material and make your own? Like, we're trying not to spend $500 for tires. That's basically what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? Because as convenient as that sounded, I was like, $500 for tires. I might never use it. I don't know if I'll ever use these. So we looked into it. We can't find anything about how to actually properly put a liner in or whatever. So then Rich is like, tell you what, I'm gonna look for a dealer that just sells those tires, and then we can buy the studs. And as painful as it may be from whatever ever describes, we can just do the studs ourselves and save a whole bunch of money. I'm like, that sounds great. So he finds the tires. He buys 2 sets. And then we spent an afternoon, after getting studs as well, we spend the afternoon trying to learn how to stud these tires. Now, the tires have really thick treads, right? Like really thick, knobby treads. And the treads have like these little targets on them to show you where to put a stud. So it makes it pretty mindless, honestly. You don't have to think about, where do I put these? What's the pattern? Blah, blah. So he looks more into it, and I think Jim had said something like, 4 bags will do you all 4 tires. It's like 100 studs a bag. Should be 100 studs a tire. And then we figure out, actually, there's like 130 something little targets on these tires. So, oh yeah, we got to buy more studs. Okay, oh yes, we got to buy more studs. It was so funny. We kept joking the whole time, like, we're putting all this money into something that's going to be like, I don't know, 2 minutes of track time a day, if that. But we're like, we want to win. We got to do this right. So we spend the afternoon trying to figure out how to stud these things. It's easy. It's not like it's difficult. You just, take a drill and put a 1/4-inch socket on it, and then you just drill them in. And I don't know, I was making it so that like the base of the head of the stud would just kind of sink into the tread, and it never penetrates the inside diameter of the tire. So that's probably why those studs, the treads are so knobby and so high, so that you never penetrate the tire. So we go around, do, and then we figured out as well that there's actually, and I'm not sure anybody picked up on this. There was a few competitors afterwards that were talking to me and Rich that figured out what we did, but the studs, it's just a regular screw with a regular hex head, but there's a flat slot. Like you can turn it with a flathead screwdriver if you wanted to at the top of the head. The direction of that slot actually matters.
Really?
So when we figured that out, we were like, whoa. Because another one of our friends, Rob Johnson, he lives out in Colorado now, and he has an ice racing. There's some kind of like rental ice racing place out where he is.
Aspen Ice Karting.
Correct. Yep. Aspen Ice Karting. So to just get a little bit of info and intel on how to do this whole ice racing setup thing, Rich was talking to those guys way out in Aspen. And those are the guys that gave us this chart for the exact tires we have for front and rear tires. How do you orient the studs? So not only did you have to take the time to individually drill 132 or 135, whatever studs into each tire. To do this correctly, and if you wanted to go fast, you also then had to take like a nut driver or a flathead screwdriver and twist each one of those studs into the correct direction.
Nice.
It took forever to do this.
Just like 2-3 hours?
The first tire took 3 hours.
Just
first
2
hours.
Okay.
So and I bet you $5 if Jim goes back and looks at the tires that he bought pre-studded, I bet you they got the directionals in it.
I don't know. I didn't really take a hard look at Jim's.
They were very, and I'm going to be honest with you, I actually added studs to mine.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Each of mine only came with 50 studs. But they're like, they did it like that because they're like, oh, we wanted to simulate some drift action. And I was like, no, screw that. I want to
why?
So
drift
what I did was I actually did about 100 extra in each of the rear wheels, and I did about 50 extra in the fronts, just because I wanted a little bit of that, that rear bite.
All right, so let me ask you this next question. So at the end of the 2 days, as we have a drag race going right by the Red Mist Studios here, the wear, and this is not going to be on the tires, the wear on the studs. is it noticeable?
No, there's
No.
zero wear.
So
No, we could have done that all week.
okay,
Yep.
all right. So like if Jim's got like a say 5-race series, folks, we're
Yep.
just talking a used set of rain tires, something, an afternoon of putting the studs in yourselves, or if you want to outlay for the bought tires, not a bad deal.
Really not a bad deal. As a
Not a
matter of
bad
fact,
deal.
I asked one of the bike racing guys middle of the weekend about that, because I was like, how long can you run these things for before, I'm guessing, do the studs ever wear out? The rubber can't wear out. It never touches the surface. So like, what would happen? And this guy was like, dude, I've run the same studs for years. I'm like, that's exactly what I'm doing here. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
All right. So,
So-
so that's awesome. That again, just another form of extending the season kind of in a cheap manner.
Yeah.
We're not talking, super high speeds here. We're talking a lot of, I think cart control and driver style to be, competitive. And for I believe the guys at the ice rental place in Aspen, I believe those are Rotax motors they're running.
It might be.
206s.
206.
They're running
Yeah.
206s. I've
206s?
seen it with.
Okay.
I've seen them running like two strokes.
Probably.
But
I mean, I've seen hooligans racing their own little homemade go-karts on ice with two strokes.
I'm all for it because Jim, if you want to set up an event in Aspen, I'd be all for going out there because I'd like to do some skiing and karting, and that'd be fun. But that's good to know, Alex. About
Yes.
Nice to hear that people were helpful. Just calling
Yeah,
up out of
yeah.
the blue and that, and appreciate Jim's information that he passed out to everybody too. That's good though. You had 12 to 16 carts. Can't complain with that. The kids probably had a great time. I would assume.
Yep.
And I'm sure
They did,
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, there were no complaints. The kids enjoyed it. I think, the kids enjoyed it for the same reason the adults did. It was just being in front of a crowd and music and just doing it because really, let's be honest here. Not a lot of spectators attend our kart races unless you get to the really, really big events. So, usually the only people watching it are just, like mechanics and the odd person. So it was really neat to be in front of. I think the first night I don't know, Alex, there couldn't have been more than a couple hundred people in the venue on the first night.
Wasn't a lot, yep.
But the second night, it was close to capacity. I think there were about 1,000.
Jeez.
Yeah, the second night was impressively full.
What was the what was the reception to you guys? Was it did people like, what's this, or were they appreciative of the shows, the races?
The owner of the ice arena actually commented on how good of a race that we put on. So that was a really nice plus. The other race.
Oop. Hello. Jim?
Clear that they hadn't seen any go-karts up close and personal before.
Yeah.
So they were kind of just looking at us oh, well, that's neat. Like, it was a very novel concept for them for a bunch of go-karters to show up at an event with quads, trikes, and bikes. So there was a really nice cross-collaboration there. Everybody was really respectful and friendly. There was a lot of mutual respect in that room. That's awesome. It was, and it's just a great reminder that it doesn't matter what you race or where you race it. We're all racers, and this is in our blood, and we have this love for any type of racing that we do, and we're all united by this common bond. And it just goes to show that in that event, we'd never been there before. We'd never been around these people. We were immediately accepted, and we felt as though we were a part of the fabric of this community.
That's fantastic. Now, let's ask just a quick question. I know. Let's talk track conditions. Not so much night one, night two. How was it? Did they resurface the ice?
They basically what they did was they zambonied it, and I think they ground it down,
and then they relayered some water on it to firm it up. It's
that's
typically
right.
Don't ask. I'm a rink nerd, so I know. it's just my hockey background. But like they probably They probably Saturday after you guys ran Friday night, they probably zambonied it, ground it up a little bit, and then relayered the ice to get a new surface on there. But so you guys didn't. Oh, that's good to know. So that was good.
Yeah.
So
good. The track conditions during the race are very interesting because like I'd never done this before. Nobody who showed up for this did this before. So I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how it was going to drive. I didn't know if like. Because I imagined, like, ATVs and stuff, they'd be digging the crap out of the ice. I didn't know what it was going to be like when we finally got our turn. And, like, it wasn't bad. Like, it was actually really smooth still. But the interesting part was that kind of unlike dirt racing where you want to find where the dirt has been pushed out, where the
cushion.
quote-unquote cushion gets put.
Yeah.
Yep. With this ice racing, especially with go-karts, you want it to be nowhere near that cushion
because you just turn into a big snowplow.
Right, you turn into a big snowplow.
Yeah.
You kind of come off the ice a little bit because the bottom of your cart's like a big skid plate, so you just kind of rate. It was interesting going out for the very first time. The craziest thing about this entire event is that we didn't get any practice. The first time you're on the ice, it was like, okay, go. Here we go for the first race. So we get out there. And they give us the go, and I think I was starting outside of Rich Hemingway. And, like, I'm trying to feel out the ice, and I must have gotten to the snow bit a little bit because I was all understeering, and I'm, like, struggling to keep up with Rich even though we're just on the pace lap. I'm like, this is going to be rough. And then I figured out once they finally dropped the green flag, after kind of just, skating and being easy, and, how's this actually? Oh, gee, this is weird. I eventually figured out, A, wait a minute. Stay on the throttle and then just pitch it and feather. That's how you go fast. But B, go where the ice is, stay away from the snow. Basically, stay inside where it's still smooth, and that's where you're going to get the most traction and speed. And I got to tell you, that figuring it out, it took about 2 laps in that first race, but figuring it out eventually made it so fun and satisfying. It is so fun to go full throttle into the corner and just go whip and then just feather the throttle to keep it around and keep up your momentum, stay in the inside, and then you're full throttle halfway through the corner just to drag it all the way out to the wall. It was so cool. So very cool.
All right. Well, great to hear. And a great recap of the event and also exciting news for next season. That's cool. Yeah.
Yes,
that's really awesome. I'm glad it's a full season now.
Yeah, so congratulations, Jim, on that. Jim, let's talk about the upcoming season for the New England Karting Challenge powered with Pride.
Thank you very much. So we have a 6-race season. Well, actually, it's more like 5 and change when I kind of lay it out for you. But we have a full season ahead of us for the New England Karting Challenge powered with Pride, and we're going to start things off here in about 3 weeks with an open test to kick off our season on April 8th. This is going to be at the Palmer Motorsports Park karting track in Palmer, Massachusetts. Now, for some of you who are familiar with Palmer, you're like, well, wait a minute, they have a karting track. That must be new. You're exactly right. It is a 0.3 mile, 7-turn karting track with lots of elevation changes. It's very tight, very technical, brand new asphalt. We are actually the first group that is going to be using this track. So that's going to be happening on Saturday, April 8th. Gates are going to open at 7 a.m. We're going to have our driver's briefing at 8:30 a.m. and then we're going to drop the green flag on the day with open tests for all of our standard 206 cadet, light, medium, heavy, master, and World Formula light and heavy categories. So we're anticipating that everybody should get probably 6 or 7 runs each. So it will be ample time to knock off the rust, get together, and to just celebrate the love of karting. And to get ready for our upcoming season, because NHKA elected not to do an open test this year. So I made sure to open it up to everybody. So admission for that event is $100 per class. You can go do as many classes as you want with, as long as you have the carts. If you want to change your weights real quick, you go ahead and do that. Pit passes for spectators and racers are $15. We're also going to be having our official inaugural season hoodies available for purchase, and those are going to be $55 a piece from our title sponsor, Pride, who is basically America's expert in karting apparel, who offers canopies, wraps, suits, custom team gear, everything under the sun to make your karting team look good. Speaking of that, we are actually going to be raffling off 3 different prizes for our racers. So, first prize, and this is all going to happen during lunch for the open test. First place is going to be a custom 10x10 easy up canopy with all your unlimited team colors. That is a $995 value. That's going to be the first prize auction raffled off. The second prize is going to be a custom suit, again with unlimited colors, any design you like, top-notch, top quality, official FIA karting suit. That's got a value of $495, I believe, retail. And then the third prize that we're going to be, that's going to put you in the drawing for is a custom wrap. And that, I believe, is valued at $395. Everything that Pride does is top quality. I mean, they're my title sponsor, so I've got all the goods. Everything that they do is top-notch, made to order, and it's absolutely worth it. Adam does an incredible job. It's an incredible value. So right now we have about 35 drivers signed up for the open test. That includes our season pass and podium club holders, as well as some organic registrations. If we reach our event capacity of 65, I have something special planned that I am going to do. You can go look at the New England Karting Challenge powered with Pride, and you can learn more about what I'm going to do if this event sells out.
Awesome. All right.
These people sign up. I want to see it happen.
Alex, you going to be participating?
There's money on the line. Actually,
I
Alex could.
Did you give the motor back?
No. The cart is actually still as it was.
Just trying to do with it.
No. Sorry, I'm referring to he could probably participate in what Jim's doing as well if he sees people show up.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, all right. I don't want to blow. I don't want to blow the cover on that.
No,
I was just like, well, Alex, you didn't get in the tie. Look, if you haven't given it back, I'd just take it up and run it.
I might. Yeah.
Hey, if it, if it breaks, it's like, I don't know, Rich. Might have been the ice race.
If Rich wants to give me some old MG Reds to run, and I don't have to change the motor over.
I think we might have some.
Yeah,
I think actually we might have some tires.
Yeah.
I guess I'll talk to Rich and then I'll submit my entry. Jim, how long do I have before I can? What's the deadline for registration for this?
Sounds like you've done a podcast before.
I may have.
Yeah. The deadline to register is going to be midnight on the 5th of April. So the 6th and the 7th, it's going to give me. You've got a little over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So that the couple other days there are just going to give me time to kind of set the table, get the run groups going,
right,
and get everything sorted out. I'm not in a position at this point where I can accept walk-in registrations, but I'm thinking once I kind of put that series hat on, I can I can get more comfortable doing it. I might be able to. Oh, speaking of which, I forgot to talk about the rest of my season. So we have the open test on April 8th. We had a little bit of a break, mainly because of my own life. I'm getting married in May, so I got to get into wedding mode immediately after the open
congrats,
test.
Man.
Congrats.
That's awesome.
Thank you. So, there's going to be a little bit of kind of a pregnant pause there in our season, so I do apologize about that. But starting on June 24th is going to be our first race at Club Motorsports in Tamworth, New Hampshire. That's going to be called the Tamworth Throwdown, powered by DRT Racing. Then, on July 22nd, we are headed to Rocky Ridge in Barrie, Vermont, and that is going to be the Rumble at the Ridge, and it's going to be full, intense heat racing with mains, and it's going to be wild and woolly there.
Jim, what's the date on that one?
That one is July 22nd.
Does that come with a can of Deep Woods Off to combat the black flies?
I mean, if you'd like, I'll have a 55-gallon drum available, for anybody to use.
Isn't that black fly season up north?
Oh yeah. It's pretty bad.
It was a joke, but people.
Oh no, I know.
No, I know Jim knows, but I'm just, Nate's like, what?
No. JOKE. Got it.
Got it. Noted.
So after our, oh no, you're okay. So after that, headed back to Tamworth So for the Club Motorsports, we are going to have the Granite State Grand Prix, sponsored by Archie's Kart Shop. And then at the end of the season, I believe it is September 10th. I'm going to have to double check that date. We are finishing our season with a battle royale under the lights at Barrie, Vermont for the Barrie Brawl. And that is going to finish our 4-race regular season, but in the spirit of Billy Mays, we're going to give you a 5th one. So on October 21st, Briggs & Stratton has come on to sponsor our race at Club Motorsports, and that is going to be an 8-hour endurance race. So we actually have teams coming all the way from Ohio and North Carolina for this one. So this, guys, is going to be a humdinger. The entry fee is for that is going to be $990. That's going to include all gas, all fuel, and a complimentary set of Maxxis tires, which are guaranteed to go the distance. And we're going to have qualifying on Friday, which is going to be optional, but it's practice and qualifying, so you probably should take it if you can. And then Saturday is going to be a full 8-hour race. And then immediately after that race, we are going to have our end of season feast at Club Motorsports Function Hall. And we're going to do all of our awards and end the season on a high and probably pretty exhausted note. So we really hope that you're going to be able to attend the New England Karting Challenge Powered with Pride race. We're aiming for a fun atmosphere for fans, friends, family, and the racers. And we really want to create a racing product that's going to be fun, exciting, beginner-friendly, and it's going to be able to give you memories that are going to last a lifetime.
Sounds like an action-packed season.
Should be great.
Yeah. I like that the events have names. It's kind of cool.
Yeah, right? Like Tamworth Throwdown.
Yeah.
Like that sounds pretty cool.
The Barrie Brawl is my favorite. I like that. All right.
No, it's gonna be a good time.
Awesome. Well, Jim, thank you once again for coming on. Once again, Jim Paulette from the New England Karting Challenge Powered with Pride. We'll have Jim on hopefully. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, we don't want to interrupt the nuptials, so we'll have Jim on closer to the first event. We don't we don't need a post recap. Somebody here might be actually at it, so we'll get that from that person. I
want Jim on the podcast more. He always brings good news.
Yes. Well, he brought exciting and breaking news. So right.
Breaking news. You heard it here first.
And not from Sports Car for Life either.
That's sports car. This is
karting. Yeah, this is karting for life.
For life. Yeah.
All right. So Jim, thank you so much for that. Alex, thank you for your recap on your dominating ice racing debut. Or debut, as they say.
And congrats.
What do they? Is it
awesome,
debut
man.
or debut? Like
debut.
Debut, right? That's
sure.
Anyways.
That's right.
So
also,
that's
Jim told me that there's $1,000 prize purse for that ice race I won. So, Jim, you just want to sign that over anytime you want. Wire, give me a check. I'll take it.
The check bounced.
I sent the carrier pigeon for that on Monday, and he should be there on the 7th of November.
In true racing, in true racing form, that is a true discussion there. Oh, I sent the money, and it never got sent. Anyways, all right. So appreciate you guys coming on. I think Jim's dropping off. Is that?
Yep.
Yep, Jim's going to drop off. So, Jim, thanks again. Alex, you're going to stick around for Formula One?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
And NASCAR, of course.
Sure.
Must we? Anyways, Jim, once again, thank you so much for coming on and breaking news with us. Appreciate it.
Hey, no worries. I'm happy to help in any way that I can, and let's race towards a brighter future for karting in New England.
Yes. All right.
Sure.
There's Jim Paulette.
Alrighty.
It's exciting news.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that ice karting stuff.
I like the fact that it's anyways, so we must move on.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So Formula One, Jeddah.
Hooray!
Formula
One. Again, practice in qualifying dominated by Red Bull. Unfortunately, we had a slight Red Bull mishap. A drive shaft failure in Max's car in qualifying Q2 left him in 15th. So, but at the top of the grid, Checo dominated in the Red Bull. I not surprised. I mean,
mean, I'm not surprised.
I'm not surprised
either.
Either one of them was that both cars were going to be at the front, and something happened. That happens. So let's get to the.
But furthermore, Checo did get pole last year.
Yes,
Jeddah.
At Jeddah.
That was his first pole too.
Yep.
So he's just adding to his pole total.
Yep.
Two for two, right?
He likes the track.
At Jeddah.
He
likes street circuits.
He likes the track.
King of the streets.
He's king of the streets, I guess. That's a good point, Nate. Alex, what's your thoughts on the Jeddah track?
I love it. I hate to say it, but I love it.
All right.
I think it's great. When you see those cars going 180 miles an hour, like in between those S's and it's so cool. I mean, I always think of Max's qualifying lap from 2021, the lap that was to never be.
Right.
But like in the middle of him going super fast through that lap, I had never been so excited to see a car whip so fast between the walls. It was amazing.
The thing that I don't like about the track, it's all blind corners, and I just have a fear that somebody's really going to get hurt there.
It's kind of
I know it's actually it's a little too blind for me. I don't know. Anyways, it's blind for me. I'm just going to say it.
And for Mick Schumacher.
My view is that it's a great time trial track. I love watching qualifying and stuff on it, but it's not that the race. Well,
the passing's all DRS.
I mean, it was that, but I mean like you said, if one car went around, the next car that's coming up and the three of them behind it, no one's making that.
That's the only aspect of the track I don't like. Other than that,
again, don't get me wrong. No. Motorsports is dangerous.
I know it's like, and if
requires a helmet.
Yeah, if you think it's that dangerous, get a dog.
But
get it.
But I think because it was recent too at Spa with in F2. That's kind of the thing, and that was just at Spa. That's so. I mean, and just in F2. So I mean, it's you're going faster than that too. So it's
anyways. Yeah. All right. Let's get to the race. Basically, lights out and away we go, and see you later, Checo.
Yep.
Essentially.
No. Well, Fred took the lead.
Yeah, kind of. That's right.
Kind of, but Nate.
I was excited. I was pumped. I was like, all right, I know it's going to be short-lived.
It's short-lived. That's, But, so anyways, lights out and away Crofty goes.
Actually, before we get to the start of the race, Piastri qualified 8th.
Yes, we should say that.
In the McLaren. So that was good to see them show up.
Yeah, well, right. And then Fred couldn't see the starting grid, so he was out of line.
Oh, that's right.
And again, if they take the stupid brake covers off, this isn't an issue. Those stupid things, whatever those are.
What are those actually called?
Those deflectors, whatever those are.
Eyebrows.
If they take those off, they can actually see where they're going. That's like, I've never seen more penalties lining cars up. It's because of those. Guys can't see.
Well, I'm surprised I can see anything at all.
I guess we can. Do we want to get to this now, or do we want to get to it later?
No. With the penalty,
yeah,
we'll get to it later. Okay. But the rest of the race itself, I don't know. Average.
There wasn't a lot of
average.
Yeah,
I mean, Max.
would say that.
Like, people were expecting Max to come blasting through the field, and I was like, Chris and I were talking about it, and I kind of said, I don't think he's going to go blasting through the field right away. I think he's going to wait till he gets DRS, and he's just going to pick cars off, and that's what he did. Yeah. And then he got the benefit of the yellow flag, which was dubious at best, and I give Stroll full props. He got the car off the track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I don't know why that came out.
Evidently the reason was that the FIA saw his GPS still on the track. It's like, you don't have a camera on the guy?
They also claimed that the first camera shot that they saw, they couldn't identify what corner he was in where he was in that corner. So
Julian Palmer.
Oh my goodness! All right, I got a suggestion. Why don't you go on your F1 TV account and just go to his onboard?
What's that, multi-screen? What is that thing called, multi-screen?
I don't know, but I would think the FIA would at least have that.
There's for anyone that wants it. It's called multi-viewer.
Yeah, multi-viewer. But can you get that? And
But
send it to
if
the
you
guys?
have an F1 TV app,
they actually have
you can watch like all the stuff at the same time.
They actually have a video review group in Geneva, Switzerland.
I don't know.
I have no
really?
idea. I guess Geneva. I guess it's like they want to be neutral.
Yes, good place to be neutral.
Yeah, it is. So they I don't know why they. Anyway, so that led to one thing, and then we have the. At that point, Fred had gotten a penalty for being out of line.
Yes.
Because you are allowed to serve the penalty under a yellow flag, he was allowed to serve it, and it's not as punitive as it would be under the green flag.
Right.
So he served it. Okay. And off he went, off Checo went. The one that benefited the most was Max.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get like too involved in the Red Bull, why didn't Max catch him? Honestly, Checo was fast.
Yeah.
And
Super fast.
And
the gap wasn't going down.
And Max was stuck in dirty air because the yellow flag moved him to 5th place, I believe, right?
Yeah,
Right,
somewhere
something
up
like
there.
that. So he had to go through cars, and
Yeah.
I'm not making any excuses, but the dirty air on that track, it's a tough track to pass, and so Checo kept drawing away, and finally when Max was able to get to 2nd, he was too far behind, and he wasn't going to close because Checo was going that much faster.
Yeah, he was about 5.5, 6 seconds back at that point.
And if the two cars are running the same pace, you're never going to close it.
No.
So good on Checo for that. Now let's get to the fun stuff. The penalty.
Yes.
And I still like George. God bless him. Alonso's still got a 5-second penalty, right? Oh, no, George, he served that. Oh. I'm out here driving like a madman.
Explicit.
Yeah, bleep, explicit. Then he's like still driving like a madman. Oh, well, and then comes the telltale. Well, we're still checking on that. And it's like, okay, so what's up? And then finally, Fred's told he's outside he's inside, it's closer, it's on the wrong way. Last lap, Fred extends it out to 5.2 seconds. No problem. He wins, but...
Third. He keeps his position.
Keeps his third.
Yeah.
But we go through the whole shenanigans on the podium. We celebrate Checo's win. We celebrate Max 2nd and Fred 3rd and gets 100th podium. And then the trophy gets taken away from Fred.
Right after the presentation, too. Which
right
was
when he
crazy.
walked down the stairs. He walked down the stairs. They literally took it.
Yes, if you didn't turn off your TV after the commentary was done, after all the celebrations and photos were taken, if you just kept watching, on the top of the screen, like 2 minutes later, it said 10-second penalty for Fernando Alonso. And I was like, oh my God, so many people just missed that.
So we can, and speculation has now turned to somewhat fact among the paddock, that our favorite team, the Silver Arrows.
Aren't they black?
Whatever.
This year.
They have a silver arrow on the front. Anyways. Those snitches.
I'm so glad you said that.
Literally, they the jack touched the back of the car, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, these guys will do anything to get a point. Like, they're so desperate. It's like they can't even,
Sean,
when everything's going great for them. Oh, it's like
Well, I mean, after their
anyways, whatever. But
they don't have to send letters to the fans for sorry.
Right. It's like, guys, really. And then the best part was out of this whole thing was I saw a video of this. Was after the race, it was Mike Crack and one of the guys from Aston Martin, and the other guy has his computer, and he is going down to the FIA. And like somebody said, somebody said, well, you don't usually bring your computer to that unless you got something you're going to show somebody. And what did they show them? They showed them 7 pit stops that had penalties where the front jack went under the car during a yellow flag or during when they're serving a penalty, and it was like, oh, and there was no penalty. There was no further penalty on that.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the front jack and the rear jack? Nothing. It didn't do anything. All they did was put the jack in place. They didn't jack the car up. The jack went in place, and they claimed that the front jack stops the car. Okay, well, they put the front jack on the front of the Aston Martin. They put the rear jack in. Who cares? We don't know what they did at the back end of these other cars. But I'm like, Mercedes, I've had enough of you guys. Seriously. I'll leave it there. That's my rant.
What I'll say is, as I was watching the race and I saw that penalty happen, that was the live shot looking at the back of the car, and I saw that jack man. He initially touched it, it kind of bounced off the car, and he put it back into place. And I was telling my roommate who I was watching the race with, I'm like, oh, I don't know. Honestly, isn't that touching the car before the penalty is over? Because in the way I see it, the rest of those guys can't touch the car. You know, the guys with the gun, they put the gun in place, but it's not on the nut. And then the guys who are going to remove the tire, they hover their hands over. So when I saw the jack actually bump into the rear of the car, I was like, "Ow, no, I'm not sure that's right." And when the next hour went by, when there was nothing mentioned of it, I was like, "Huh, maybe the FIA didn't catch that, or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the rule." And then all the drama came at the end of the race. So I was curious, down to a technical point, why it wasn't a penalty. So I read the official release that F1 puts out for every penalty that happens. And basically what they said was that when the rule was made that you can't touch the car for the time that the penalty is being served, it was never specified as to whether that also counts for the jacks. You know what I mean? So because it was a gray area, because it wasn't a black and white, this is how it is, the FIA agreed, and because of the video evidence that they brought up of other examples of this happening, the FIA agreed that, well, all right, so it's kind of up in the air. It's not a real, legit rule. You guys can take your third place back. But I'm sure because of this, there's going to be a new section .this, that says now that the jacks can't, the rear jack anyway, probably can't touch the car or whatever they decide. Who knows? But honestly, I didn't go hard at Mercedes with any of those thoughts, but I love your angle.
Well, I think,
but it's consistent with Mercedes. It's Lewis, it's George, it's Toto. Toto kind of sets the tone with the whole team.
Yeah, and it's just the whole thing, whatever. Anyway, so
Sorry.
Let's so here we are. I don't want to get into I'm not the controversy or the fast lap thing. I'm like, whatever. You know what?
Well, that wasn't even much of a controversy.
I don't know, but here's the thing. They weren't racing each other, and if Checo was I'm just gonna say this, Checo, if you were concerned about that, don't I never assume. Okay, never assume.
No,
because Max is gonna Max wants to get points. Okay, so he should have known that. And I'll be honest with you, Checo, then put in a fast lap. I'm going to leave it at that.
Yep.
I don't.
Well, and here's my thing with that. I was actually looking at Valtteri Bottas, because at the end there he put on softs, and I was thinking, okay,
there were
Alfa Romeo's going to steal it, but I forgot they're slow.
Honestly,
their car's really
honestly, if they did that, it would have been the best thing that happened, because then there wouldn't be any of this BS. So, overall, race. A little bit of drama with Max.
Yeah.
The rest of it was...
I'll tell you what I liked at the end. It was the battle for the last point between
Tsunoda
and Kevin Magnussen.
Yeah.
That was a really good battle.
Yeah, it was. It was a great pass that came
ended up on top. Yeah, it was at the absolute limit.
God,
going into 1 and 2.
Apparently, Tsunoda was crushed after that. He was he was really upset.
I'm sure he was driving his guts out to try to get that 1 point.
And Magnussen was driving his guts out to get that 1 point.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Anyways, so we leave. Max is ahead by 1. Red Bull's running away with the lead, the manufacturers' championship.
Yep.
Toto's crying
over. If I may mention one more thing about the end of that race, that was awesome, and I'm surprised it never came up on the little highlights of team radio that they showed during the live presentation. I was riding along with Max with F1 TV, and for those last 15 laps, when he was just inching in on Checo a little bit. And Checo was asking, is he catching me or not? GP, Max's race engineer, comes over the radio, and he's like, so we're aiming for 33.0 lap time, 33.0. and then there's silence. And then like another lap goes by, and it's like, okay, Max aiming for a 33.0 lap time after you just pulled like a 32.6 or 32.5.
Yeah.
Still nothing. And they're like, Max, can you confirm 33.0? Pulls off another 32-second lap.
Yes.
That kid will never slow down when asked, ever.
And that's kind of where I'm going with that thing with Checo. It's like, dude, just go for it.
This kid's
Well, he should earn his own speed.
Right. And I'm just saying, look, whatever. You guys want to settle it with Christian after the race, go ahead. But,
Horner, not me.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's just my whole thing is it's like you need to you got to put your foot down and create the controversy and create the fact that you want to win the championship too. And it's like,
well, that's just it. And Sebastian Vettel did that with Mark Webber. Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
no, but that's that's what the great.
Nothing new to Red Bull.
But that's what the great drivers do, or the drivers with. Look, Hamilton when he had the when he was going against Fred.
No, really?
They had the same car, but they were going against when he was going against Fred. When he was going against Fred, that was head to head.
You mean they played mind games
With each other, yes.
and they still do now?
Yeah, well, I
So
think
you mean-
I honestly Checo just needs to. I hate to say it, he needs to grow a set.
Yeah.
But I really think he does. So that's just my opinion on
Well,
that.
and this, what was it? I saw the one stat that this is the first back-to-back 1-2 that Red Bull's had since 2009, 2010 with Webber and Vettel.
Yeah.
So even with the dominant car that Red Bull had, they weren't finishing 1-2 every race.
No.
So
And look, anything can happen with these cars.
Right.
I mean, case in point happened on Saturday with the drive shaft. So
Yeah.
things can happen. And Max could have went over that. When he went over that curb in that session where he kind of had that kind of rough thing. I mean, it could have did something to the car, and it did.
Yeah.
So I mean, these cars are fragile, and
yeah.
So anyways, now we're off to I think a great racetrack,
Yeah.
Melbourne.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So
Yes.
a couple of weeks. So we'll put our picks in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Alex, you can
next
text
week.
them in. So
Next week, yep.
Ooh, okay.
Alex can text them in.
Yeah. So we have an off week
We
this
were
week.
kind of hoping to have Toto Hemingway on tonight, but
That would have been great.
we love you, Rich.
Those guys have to try to get every point they can. Red Bull would do it too. They call out a penalty. It's not just Toto.
We have a certain Ferrari fan that we need to get on the show too, who's like losing his mind over this. Anyways, so we'll have to have a round table, I think. So we should have it after a race. That could just be like,
when I was
Technical.
I was texting Rich earlier today, and we'll have him on
another.
eventually.
We should have a gathering after a race, then do a pod after, because then people are drinking Heineken Zeros and stuff and whatever.
Well, think about it, because Justin Roscoe would bring up what happened with Charles Leclerc under caution after the Lance Stroll thing. Because they radioed him. They're like,
that's
try to push from safety
Nate,
car, line
Nate,
one.
Nate.
But because Hamilton just did it.
Nate,
What?
you unfortunately have not been on the text that Chris and I have been on.
He must have blown up, huh? Hey, maybe Fred Vasseur is team principal, but Ferrari's still far.
we had to send Justin the Rocket Power Mohawk to settle him down. So.
Oh, God bless our Lord and Savior, Rocket Power.
Well, hey, the guy's awesome. Anyway, so all right, so we're on to Melbourne.
And then
I'd
ask a Team LH person,
Right.
who's the team leader at Mercedes?
Yeah.
So far, it's George Russell.
Yes.
So
All right, so let's move to NASCAR quickly because we got to get to Sebring.
Yeah.
Nate, quick recap on the Atlanta 400.
well, it was. I hate that they ruined Atlanta, but anyway.
Just let's keep to the racing here.
All right, so let's go to the race. And let's see. Joey Logano was on pole, but I'll tell you what. I think it was going to be from the get-go a Ford day, because the top 8 qualifiers were Ford drivers.
Okay.
And so, let's see. Joey Logano wins stage 1, and then Austin Cindric passed Joey Logano on the outside to take stage 2, and then it set up for a grand finish, and it was coming to the line. Brad Keselowski was leading, and then Joey Logano takes the lead on the last lap and wins.
And somebody took out a certain car number 4.
Oh, a certain watermelon man of sorts?
Yes, and that kind of changed the whole complexion of the race.
It did. It took out a lot of cars.
Yeah, so the script was kept.
There's a crash. There's a big one. There's
big
overtime.
ones.
Well,
they didn't go to overtime this time, did they?
That's what I was going to say, Sean. There was no overtime this time.
No overtime.
So
but we had a game-changing wreck. So, all right. Yeah. So I want to get to the biggest story of the weekend.
Which is?
And my new hero in NASCAR, who runs in the Xfinity Series, one Mr. Josh Williams.
Josh Williams.
Josh is my new hero.
Man, I'll tell you what, he gave NASCAR the double bird with what he did.
Yeah, it was willpower-esque, and I am all for it. And I love the fact that he played up to the crowd. The crowd loved him. NASCAR did not love him. They made him go to the trailer and sit. And ever since then, Josh has been enjoying his notoriety on social media to the point where they've just what's the team he runs for? Is it Alloy?
It's Mario Goslin.
Oh, it's Mario Goslin. Oh, modified. He used to run modifieds up here.
I think so. That name does sound familiar with modified.
Yes,
he ran trucks. He a lot of lower division stuff.
Anyway,
still.
So Josh, new hero. They've now issued new T-shirts called "Park It."
No.
Yes, I'll have to send it to you. I just
think
saw
it was.
Absolutely fantastic. He was apparently on the Dale Jr. He was at Dirty Mo Media. He was on the Dale Jr. download. So I can't wait for this. This is gonna be awesome. I just love the fact that he just flipped NASCAR off. It's awesome. And honestly,
it's a stupid rule.
It is a stupid rule. And you know what? They had so NASCAR.
Go ahead. Yeah.
All right. NASCAR had every opportunity to not let him out of the pits, and they did. Okay? And then he's out on the track, and they decide to look at him on the camera and go, well, that's too bad. And I'm like going, you let him out.
Well, and here's the thing, too, because they were putting tape on the car, and it's a little colder of a day, and the tape is going to fly off.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just sheer temperature was the reason for what happened. And they're like, well, because the tape fell off, I guess your race is over, so you're going to have to park it. And then the crew chief and spotter was telling him that, and he's like what?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm with him.
Are you kidding me? Yeah. And then he's just, did his thing. And so, look, would I have done the same thing? Probably something close to it, because it's that's a really low IQ rule.
Oh no,
yeah. Oh no, Christian, that, and then the damage time clock.
Yeah,
or whatever.
Christian just pointed out that he got a penalty. Yeah, we I know he got parked for a race because he actually said to it, and he named the guy that's going to replace him for the race. So it's awesome. I'm just all for this kid. I'm buying a Park It shirt. It's fantastic. Anything. It's
a mullet too, so it's just badass.
Oh, I know, and he's kind of, no. You know what? It's not. He doesn't look like Austin Dillon, like he's like a male model out there. It's like, dude, he looks like a guy. Just It's not guy. Doesn't get his eyebrows waxed like Austin does. Well, the guys in Dinner with Races said it. I mean, Anyways, all right.
And he has that show, right, Sean, that you watch every week? Keeping Up with the Dylans?
Yeah, Keeping Up with the Dylans. Jesus. Are the Kardashians going to be on that?
Holy hell.
Wow. Anyways, so a little bit of a snooze fest for NASCAR this weekend. However, we go to COTA this weekend, and it is... I
forgot COTA's this weekend.
Yeah, it's just exciting because we got some people in the race.
Names.
We got Jordan Taylor filling in for Chase Elliott. Rodney Sandstorm falling in for Chase.
Rodney Sandstorm.
Yep. Filling in for Chase Elliott. We have Jenson Button.
Yes.
Making his big car tin top debut. So that's exciting.
So is there one F1 world champion in this race?
Oh no, there are 2.
Wait, there's more?
Yes, because the Iceman
The
cometh
Iceman.
again.
Yes.
Kimmy's back, so I'm kind of psyched. And this is the site of his last F1 win, even better. So,
Yeah, the U.S. Grand Prix, yeah.
and with my
you go.
favorite team, Rick Ware Racing, love it. Oh no, he's with Trackhouse. Sorry, who's with Rick Ware?
Yeah,
Trackhouse.
Trackhouse, Project 91.
Project 91. Yeah, sorry, that is my favorite race team because Justin Marks is my favorite.
Yeah,
team
Justin
owner.
Marks is the man.
Is the man. Who's Rick Ware? Who's got Rick Ware? Who's in that car?
Jensen. Button.
Jensen's in that car. Okay.
Well, Stuart Haas, Rick Ware affiliation.
whatever. Yeah.
So,
It doesn't matter. It's still Rick Ware Racing. Anyways, so that's cool.
Still Rick
That's
Ware,
cool that
yeah.
Jensen's in the race. I like that. Connor Daly will be in the race.
he will.
Yep.
Yes, he will.
I didn't know that.
Yep, he
Yeah,
will
with
be there
the money team.
with the money team. The question is, will Floyd Merriweather be there? I have no idea. But Tony Erie Jr. will be on the pit box, so that's cool. And then we have
And Jimmy Johnson.
Oh yeah, JJ, which I'll be honest with you, he'll probably friggin' win.
Yeah.
I guess honestly,
he has laps there with the IndyCar too.
Yeah,
so.
so that would be kind of cool. But we have an exciting addition to this broadcast booth. One Mr. Gunther Steiner is going to be in the booth.
What?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That's awesome.
See?
This has just become the best motorsport event of the year.
As Christian said, they're sucking you in. I said, well, hopefully after seeing the fact that the Michigan State Marquette basketball game outdrew NASCAR last weekend by 6 million people, they need all the help they can get. And if it's Gunther Steiner doing it, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
God, it's too bad this wasn't like on just streaming, because if Gunther could drop some F-bombs on it, it's just be...
Yeah.
He might anyway. I don't know.
Do you think
Be in his nature.
Do you think he'll the paddock? Bleep the paddock.
Yeah, right.
Hug. I said hug.
Yeah.
Hug.
Yeah.
You know what would be better if like K-Mag and Hulkenberg went in it?
Right.
That'd be fun. Or Danny Rick.
In the race.
See, I'm surprised Trackhouse didn't go for Danny Rick this weekend.
I'd rather see these guys drive than commentate.
Who, Gunther?
That's true.
No, I was talking like K.
No.
Yeah, I'm
those
talking about
drivers.
driving.
Those drivers.
Oh yeah,
I would much rather see those guys
like K-Mag
drive.
and
Yeah.
Hulkenberg in the race and like
Yes.
Danny Rick in the race. It would have been fun.
Well, that's just it, right? Like with the
Well,
Stuart
that's
Haas cars, like
but
off
that's the
weekend.
whole thing with Trackhouse.
But someone,
it's kind of cool.
Sorry, this is a little off topic, but like having someone like James Hinchcliffe commentate, I thought was
Oh, I still think it's
with
great.
that F1 weekend last year was
they
good.
should actually,
But
if
yeah.
they can throw Clint the Booth out, that'd be fine. Is Tony back in the booth this weekend, or is he? Oh, he isn't. I think he's top out. He's got top alcohol race this weekend. They're in Phoenix.
I don't know. Who else is in the booth.
NHRA's in
Yeah,
Phoenix.
because he's doing that full time.
I think Aaron.
Mike Joy.
I think Aaron Rodgers X is in the booth.
Danica.
Rogers.
Well,
Yeah, I think she is.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to go with the Aaron Rodgers one. You should say Daytona 500 winning.
Oh
driver,
yeah,
Ricky
Ricky
Stenhouse.
Yeah,
Ricky
Ricky Stenhouse
Stenhouse.
Jr.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that-
Top to bottom,
she
Ricky
must-
Stenhouse.
She must grit her teeth now.
What makes you think that?
Because he won the biggest, second biggest race in the world.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I don't know, just
Second
saying.
biggest?
yeah, but she's got a
As
pole
Sean
there.
said it.
Second biggest race in the world. Like the Indy 500 is like the biggest. What do you think?
Okay,
What's
yeah.
a bigger race, Nate? Like, what are you going to tell me?
Daytona 500 is bigger than Monaco.
Well, Lamar.
I
Lamar.
know.
He said it. It's Sean said it. Second biggest race.
No, I stand by it.
Okay.
Mario Andretti won it. AJ Foyt won it.
I mean,
Sure, yeah.
I guess historically,
Yeah.
I would look at it that
Yeah.
way. Yes, modern day, I wouldn't rank it like that.
If
I'm
Montoya
not
won it, it'd be like the guy'd have every friggin' big race in the world. All you need now is an outright
Well,
win at
right,
Le Mans.
right.
Anyways, so all right, so let's do we have our guest?
yes, we can get our guest on.
He's
right
been
now.
on hold. I don't know why we didn't bring him on.
So I have a good friend of mine from way back, Mat Kortarski, who I actually met in Gran Turismo, and I actually sent the league. And so, one thing led to another. We share the same passion of racing. And Matt he resides in Florida and was able to check out the really the Super Sebring. So the 1,000 miles of Sebring, the opening round for the WEC, and also the 12 hours of Sebring with IMSA. Matt, welcome.
How's it going? Good to be
So
here.
well. Yeah, thanks for your time and thanks for coming on.
Thanks for coming, Matt.
No problem.
So this isn't your first time to these races. Is this like a tradition for you?
Actually, this is the second time I've been to Sebring for the 1,000-mile race. This is my first 12-hour because last year I went to the 1,000-mile race just to meet Robert Kubica because being Polish and everything, I had to go meet him. So, and that was the third time that I was going to a race that he was supposed to be at or entered in, and he was not injured or his car didn't break down within the first 2 hours. So finally got to meet him and everything and see him race. So that was
cool.
Wonderful. But this time was my first
really cool.
time seeing the 12 hours of Sebring, so it was fun.
Oh, so so the first time checking out the IMSA race as well.
Yes.
So
that's pretty cool.
So Matt, you're a big fan of Team Interpol too, right? Because they're the Polish racing team, right?
Oh yes.
Awesome. I love that.
Actually,
that's one of my obscure favorite racing teams. Because they're really good.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, me and my father, we actually talked to the team owner for like 20 minutes during the autograph session.
Oh, we got to get Matt's got to come hang with us.
Maybe buying another car for IMSA in the future. Just
awesome.
Just dropping that. So.
Sports Car for Life did not have that.
Oh my god.
That's awesome.
Sandstorm, man.
Matt, quick question for you. Impressions of the Ferrari hypercar. Did it look as good as it was? It looked on TV.
It looked aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
But watching on the track, it didn't really do much for me. I was looking more at the LMP2 class for the most part in that race.
Right, because
for me, that's more of a even field.
Yeah, and that's where your guy Kubica was running. So that's I understood there. That's cool because we saw the pictures that Christian showed me the pictures that you took from of the Ferrari. I was like, where did that come from? And Christian goes, that was from Matt. I'm like, oh, he was there for Friday too. And Christian's like, oh yeah. And I was like, cool. So that's cool.
Actually, the interesting part about the Ferrari was the next day during the 12 hours, I decided to walk around to get some exercise in, and I went to the paddock for WEC, and half the cars were still there, but they're all being loaded up into containers, and both Ferraris were still there. So you can just go up to them and just take photos, and it was just kind of weird just seeing all that. Just the day after, most of the cars are still there, just being prepared to go into containers and shipped off back home.
Wow.
Did the Toyota look as dominant as it was?
Oh yeah. I don't remember a time in the race where they weren't leading.
Right.
To be honest with you.
Yeah. But they're a year ahead of everybody now because they had the year last year.
That's right.
So
well, I mean, not only the year from last year, but they're one brand that hasn't stopped running in it for the past couple of seasons.
But to evolve and run the hypercar and then take. I have another question. Did you actually see the rocket launch Friday night?
Yes.
Oh yes.
And it was kind of like this. It's like about 25 minutes to go in the race, and everyone is just. I just look to my right. Everyone just starts pulling up in the air. I'm like, "What's going on?" And I just see the rocket. I'm like,
I love it. It was all over. It was actually I was watching the race on Motor Trend on the WEC feed, and Anthony Davison. Martin Haven about 20 minutes before the launch. Mentioned it, and Anthony Davidson had no idea what he was talking about. And I know this is stupid, but it was so funny. And Graham Goodwin was saying the same thing, and they were like, "Oh, you never seen it?" Oh, and it's like, and he's like, "How am I going to see this?" And goes, "Oh, you're going to see it. It's going to come right down range here." So, of course, all of a sudden they flip to it, and Anthony Davidson's like, "Oh my god, that's so cool!" And all of a sudden you kind of hear this bang, and it was him going out the door of the TV booth to go watch it, and he comes back 10 minutes later. He goes, "Oh, sorry, I was actually watching the rocket." That was the coolest thing I've ever seen. It was all over social media. They had guys in the pits like during the race, like the WEC mechanics and all, they're all looking at I'm like, what if a car pits? It's like,
yeah, like guys, hello,
hello,
like,
but the engineers are all
drop the
banging.
ice cream,
The engineers are all banging away on the computers and stuff, and like the rest of the crew's out back. I think the Ferrari guys were smoking cigarettes and watching it. But anyways, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
So
the crowd too. The crowd too. Also, when that happened, like for like good 5-7 minutes, they were all just looking up to the sky,
That's
not
awesome.
at the race.
That is
just
so
looking
cool.
at that. So
That is so cool. Thank you, Elon Musk.
all right, thank you for the sights.
That's awesome. Were you able to meet Robert Kubica?
I met him last year.
Oh, last year. Okay.
So, but last year when I met him, he was coming out of the porta potty, getting changed and everything.
So, you and Nate need to get together.
Yeah. Well,
Nate,
it's a bit funny as well because, because
this is good stuff. I love this.
They didn't do the autograph sessions for the WEC paddock last year, so that was like the only way we can really like had a chance to meet him. But this year they did, so
that's awesome.
I just said hi to everything. My dad was more obsessed with him and got him to sign the old Williams hat and stuff like that.
Nice.
And then held a flag in front of him like 20 minutes in front of the WEC thing because my dad's like really obsessed with him for whatever reason. I mean, I guess there's a good reason why.
No,
but.
There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, Matt. I love your dad's passion. I love that. Nate has an obsession with Catherine Legg that Christian and I got to witness at Lime Rock. And Nate thought it was a tremendous job to cut the entire line to get to Catherine. And we're still.
She signed it.
She signed everything, but we're still convinced that the Connecticut State Police are after him. So, anyways,
I actually got to meet her as well this weekend.
Oh, there you go. Nice. I
have a signed J.G. Wentworth hat.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they got kind of hosed. They got biffed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I feel bad because I like that team. I like Gradient.
Yeah,
because they got Mark Miller. And they got Catherine, and they got Sheena Monk, and didn't they have Mario Farnbacher too?
No, it was just those three.
No, it's just those three.
Yeah.
Oh, was Farnbacher with the other guys? With
another actor?
The Wayne Taylor NSX team.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
What's her name?
Ashley Harrison.
Yeah,
her. She's good. She's really good.
She's
actually.
very good.
Didn't she get pole, or who was the? Didn't they get pole in that class?
They did in GTDM. They did.
Yeah.
I think it was her. I think it was Ashton that drove the car because I think they put all the AMs. I put the AMs in. I just want to give a big shout out to Ben Keating for another monster stint in the Corvette.
Oh yeah.
And just want to salute Pratt Miller Racing and America. So. It was too bad because the Iron Dames. That was going to be a dogfight, that race, and then unfortunately, Rahel Fry had the off, and the the rear diffuser flew off.
Matt.
Yeah.
Did you meet Jacques Villeneuve?
Yes.
No.
I did.
See, that's the real question you got to ask Sean.
Was he? All right. Well, wait a minute. I got a question. Was Jacques in a very baggy driver's suit?
Yes, he was.
I love it. I love it. And the best part.
The only reason why I wanted to meet him was to get him to sign the CD that I have of an album he made.
No, you got that. You have that?
Yeah.
Oh, Matt, you're a legend right there. That is fantastic.
He was very amused by it. He was like, "Oh my gosh!" I forgot which one of the drivers, but he was like, "Oh, what is that? A CD?" And then Jacques explained to him what this backstory was.
Nice. Oh, that's so cool.
Oh my God.
Hey, Vanwell got 6 points. They finished the race.
Yes, they did.
And if they didn't get run into twice, they could have finished higher. So I give Vanwell credit. Last time Christian and I saw the Bicolis team race, and the car was on fire. So that was at Le Mans. Anyways, so that was good. Oh man, that's awesome. That's so cool. All right, let's the WC race was great. I mean, the LMP2 race was crazy because it came down to who blinked first on the fuel.
Yeah.
And
right.
the Jota guys,
Yeah.
Good looking car.
they good looking
Well-
car, but they made the strategy call, and
Yeah.
they and the who was it? Prema,
Yeah.
with Dorian Finn, Dorian Pin?
Dorian Pin.
Yeah,
The pin.
Yeah, she's good for her. She ran a triple stint in that race. She's an amazing talent. There was a
May I add
Yep.
that I went to the podium celebrations at the end of the race, and I caught the LMP2 class celebrations, and then right after that I saw Dorian Pin walking by, and she was just holding the third place trophy, but like she was so like in awe of it, like she was so happy.
That
and
is so cool.
You can tell that she like was really proud of,
Yeah.
of where she finished.
Yeah, I mean, there was some mega women talent in that race. I mean, it was just the Iron Dames. They had a great battle with what's her name?
Sarah Bogan.
Sarah Bovey had this all-out duel with Ben Keating in qualifying. It was amazing, and Ben was
and then even
Ben
into the
tipped his
race.
hat to her too.
Even into the race.
into the
too.
race, and then
Yeah.
unfortunately Rahel Fryer, she ran wide in that one corner, and it was just ugh.
Ripped
Well, hey, track limits. There you
Yeah.
go. Anyways, that's Sebring for you. But wow, great stuff. Yeah, the LMP2 finish was crazy. I'm really happy for the Corvette guys. That's awesome. To get their first AM season underway. So, which is pretty cool. Let's move to the 12 hours, shall we?
Yes.
Why not?
Why not?
What a start there, huh, Sean?
My driver of the race was LMP3 driver Roger Mao.
Can you elaborate why?
Roger started a strong race, getting to turn one and then spinning the car. And then somewhere along the rest of the race, had another off, and then on I have no idea what he was doing. I don't know if it was a wave by or what. Was driving up the front straight on the right side by the pit wall and decided to drive right back into the back end of the number 6 Porsche. And it was like, what were you doing? I have no idea. And fortunately, Bo Barfield came to his senses and parked the guy. So, anyways, that was my driver of the race.
I would even also add, he was putting the lights to the Porsche. The first Porsche moved. The second Porsche didn't move. So it's kind of like, I get what you're saying, but it's also, shouldn't you be looking at your rearview mirrors and aware of your surroundings? Right?
Nate,
No.
I think there was
Devil's
a little
advocate in this.
I'm not giving
Yeah.
Roger anything on this.
No.
I
Fair.
think,
Okay, all right.
and
He
honestly,
already, stumbled himself twice.
honestly, this is the one issue I have with it. I love LMP3. This is the one issue I have.
Yeah.
This is a guy that probably should be running still in the VP Fuels race, and he shouldn't be.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, he needs more track time.
Yeah.
You can't be mixing. You can't be out there. And like, honestly, Sean Creech Motorsports should have been a little more aware on the wall, like what's going on.
Yeah.
And you got to know, like, you know what? If the IMSA's giving it away by, you know what? Nah, that's fine. We'll just stay at the back of the field. Or just pit the guy and just tell him to drive through the pits. I mean, honestly, teams need to do a better job at that. Anyways, that was just my funny moment of the race. Overall, the race was wild
Yeah.
and crazy.
Yeah, well, did you see that finish?
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. I mean, it's just, Nate, it was like that for 12 hours.
Well, earlier on in the race, there was I was telling Dad about this, but there was one move that between the BMW LMDH and the Cadillac LMDH where they came out of the tight hairpin.
Did they go 3 wide on this?
No, they came out of the hairpin. The Cadillac got a little squirrely coming out, and the BMW had a good run. And I think the BMW had better tires and was chasing them down anyways at this point. But then they come up to the next braking zone, and there's a GTD car in front of them, and it's a right-hand turn. The GTD car is on the racing line on the left side of the track, and then the BMW and the Cadillac are coming up, and the BMW is going for a move on the left hand side and has the Cadillac on the right side, brakes and cuts across the Cadillac's nose and goes down the inside of the GTD and like just snakes it in there beautifully. One of those more risky passes that paid off, which was great to see. But I mean, again, there was plenty of that stuff throughout this whole race just because of how close and intense
I
the field
think
was.
one of the greatest highlights of the GTP field was the fact that every manufacturer led at some point.
Yes.
And it was great to see BMW back on pace. They've definitely made strides since Daytona, so good on them. I like the fact. I mean, I know I mean, a little partial to Porsche, but I like the fact that it's evened out quite well.
Yeah.
You get considering like
For the most part.
we all were kind of fearing the fact that Porsche had put all this testing mileage in and stuff, and
I was watching that Win the Weekend.
oh
series
yeah,
on YouTube, and
that's put out by IMSA.
yes, and on their YouTube channel.
Was it the pre-race one?
Yeah, this was the one before Sebring.
Oh, okay. I don't think I've seen
But they
that
brought
one
up
yet.
they brought up a good point that even though Porsche and Penske have done all this mileage,
Yeah,
it's still a new car.
right.
So it's
right. They're all new cars,
and so there's still a learning curve to it all, and also that this is a V8 motor that's in the back, so
Right.
it's not a standard engine you see in there. Yeah,
Porsche flat.
so
six.
it is a learning curve that they have to get used to. So I mean, again, credit to all the testing that they've done, but they still got to find speed.
Again, the LMP2 battle was fantastic. LMP3 was, unfortunately, it was just kind of a crap show. I mean, it was because like the two cars that I thought were going to dominate tangled, which was the Andretti car and the Riley car, which is a 74 Ranch car. And they tangled, and then, the Andretti car ended up out of the race. So that was Jared Andretti and Gabby Chavez ended up out of the race. And then Gar Robinson and his team were able to continue on, which is fine. I just was like, it's just kind of a bummer that that's kind of happening in that class, because it fills a
Isn't that
void.
going to happen?
Huh?
Isn't that going to happen anyway in racing? I mean,
Well, yeah, but
There
the
is-
level of driver talent. Look,
the-
I'm gonna get when we get to the end here. That shouldn't have happened with those two guys, that team, those two teams.
sure. Okay. All right.
know,
All right. Yeah.
That it just shouldn't have happened, and it did. In the GTD race, both Pro and Am was wild. It was wild. I mean, I thought Brian Sellers was like ready to pack it in. Chris and I heard an interview with Brian during the race, and he was like, "Yeah, the brakes and all this, and we're not set up for the." And end of the race comes, and guess what happens? Paul Miller, BMW wins the race. So, I felt bad, and I think Brian probably feels bad because he's never one to usually complain about stuff, and but again,
Well, he didn't close the show. Madison Snow finished. So I mean,
well, it doesn't matter. It's just like you're just kind of like at the point of the race that they were at, which was 6 hours to go. They were just bemoaning the fact that they had a long brake pedal, and it's just you never know how you can't give up. It's
exactly.
just you got to race it out. My thing, I was disappointed with the finish.
It was exciting.
It was exciting, but
yeah,
this is where I have a problem with some of the drivers that are in GTP. I have a problem with.
Ooh.
Okay, and those are the guys that have come from the factory GT programs,
making that switch from the
GT
GT cars to the
prototype cars. These are not.
Okay.
These are not GT cars. Okay. All right. And there's a different level of. Personally, I think there needs to be a different level of respect, and also there has to be a different level of what can happen, because you can seriously get hurt in these things, and these aren't.
For sure.
It's not like, and there was consequences and it backed up. It went all the way back through the field, and it impacted the GTD Pro field, where the Corvette got taken out. So, I just personally think, and this is kind of aimed at some of the Porsche guys. I'll be honest with you, some of these guys are running. They might be factory drivers for Porsche. Yeah, you're a factory driver for Porsche, but you're not a factory driver for Roger Penske. Okay, and I'll be honest with you, he doesn't care who you race for. He'll go back to he'll go back. I don't want this guy here. If Nick Tandy wrecks one more car, he's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Okay, Matty Campbell, love him. Wrecks one more car, dude. You can't be doing this. Okay, Penske has no patience for this crap. And it goes the same on the other side, on the WEC side. But on the WEC side, he's got a bunch of guys that he's got Andre Latera and a couple other guys that have raced LMP1 cars. You can't be doing that. And that's the one pain point that Ferrari has is they got GTE guys. They got their GT guys in that car, except for Giovinazzi and there's somebody else. That's a prototype guy. But I'm just gonna say, because I'll be honest with you, Albuquerque got completely blindsided by those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'm sorry. Are you talking about the last?
Yeah. I mean, because the Porsche went off and took him out. He took him out, and then the 7 car voided the whole mess and went up and over the 6 car.
Right. I mean,
I'm just saying. These aren't. You can't drive. This isn't like.
I can see the Porsche being at fault, but I think part of it was on the 10 car too in Albuquerque.
And Albuquerque has his look.
Yeah.
He's had his moments. Durrani's had his moments too. Okay.
In the Porsche.
No. In the American.
No.
In the
Extreme.
The Action Express car. Because he got into a Ricky Taylor.
Yeah.
But the common denominator. See, the difference is, I like Albuquerque as a driver, and I like Durrani, but these aren't. You can't this is these guys aren't. The guys that own these teams are in it to win, and with WTR, they're a factory Honda team. Action Express, you can say what you want. They're representing the owner of the series, meaning NASCAR. Okay, because Jim France owns the team. You can't be doing dumb moves. Okay, and I'm sorry, but when you're driving for Penske, it's he's gonna be.
It's tenfold.
It's tenfold. He's you know what? Right now, he's got a good reason to put Scott McLaughlin in that car. More so than some of these other guys. Okay.
Yeah, and Joseph Newgarden.
You can put Will Power in. I don't care who he puts in.
Yeah, whoever.
Other than Logano, that's fine. It's just
Ryan smart man, Sean.
I don't know. Blaney and he's my favorite coach.
Blaney be good.
See him driving.
Blaney be good.
I
We
can't
can get
see him
Blaney.
driving.
Blaney's cool.
Blaney's cool. We like Blaney.
I'm just his luck.
Oh, his luck, yeah. No, but I'm just saying, that just is that whole GTD mentality, and that kind of carries over from that whole Ferrari WEC Porsche thing from 2 years ago. The crap that went on there. So I'm like, at some point, this crap's got to stop. And these guys, if you keep wrecking cars, you're going to be gone.
The costs add up.
The costs add up, but the fact is that Porsche had a chance to win that race, and that got thrown away. The fact is that Acura had a chance to win that race. I think Porsche and Acura should have won that race, okay? But, yeah. But again, you got Albuquerque. He's not going to lift. He's Brazilian. They're not. He's Portuguese?
Yeah, I think he's Portuguese.
He's Marc Genet? Really? I thought he was Brazilian.
Yeah, he's Portuguese.
No, he's Portuguese. All right. Well,
Careful with that.
I know.
Well, either way, he's Portuguese, right?
Well, the Brazilians don't lift. So, anyways, I was disappointed. Because I know, you know what? The other thing is, it's Sebring. been there. It's at night. It's a disaster. It's dark. There's no lights.
Matt can elaborate.
Yep, Matt can elaborate. Matt, how dark was it?
Yeah, very dark. All you saw was just lights just flying by. That's all you can really see at that point.
Yeah. So, anyways, that aspect of the finish kind of burned me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we go to Long Beach next. I'm like,
Oh, right.
It just gets
Street
better.
circuit. Yeah,
But-
it
which
just
is-
gets better.
Like you've mentioned, if you're gonna keep crashing the car,
You're
not
gonna be gone.
Yeah, you're not gonna be driving. soon.
It's
And-
not going to be Porsche's call. It's going to be Penske's call.
Yeah, and I mean,
Well, it's a matter of just finishing next time around.
and plus, like,
them.
there's also a lot of other drivers that have said that they want to drive these cars too. So
Oh,
it's not like there isn't a market.
I'm sure there's a waiting list.
Look,
a wait list.
Roger Penske's probably sitting there going, "I let Ricky Taylor go back to his dad." I mean, I'm not, because he drove for him when he did with the Acura.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, Roger does
DPM.
not. Yeah, he doesn't care who it is. I mean, it's just
don't
like
care.
I just was that was the only piece. Other than that, I thought again, IMSA, great job. Like BOP, Porsche FAF won.
But I thought the Porsches sucked.
No, the BOP was out of balance at Daytona.
POP. Yeah.
The BOP was out of balance. IMSA went back and re-looked at everything. So, no, but now it's like, what I don't like is the fact that some of these Porsche teams that went, through their toys like Toto Wolff, are leaving the series. And no, they did. They did.
Yeah, I know.
It's
I
like
know.
the guys that write motorsports, not John Wright, but like the guys that was running the car for. Oh no, we're not gonna. And it's like, I know John Wright's like they're gonna get it right, and no pun intended. But
No pun intended, yeah.
obviously,
I was-
IMSA got it straightened out. Okay, so and it was a crazy. Like I don't think GTD there was any. It was. I thought it was great. Like everybody was all over the place until the end. A couple cars got taken out at the end, and
Yeah.
FAF won. I'm sorry, not FAF. Paul Miller won. They won, right?
No.
Yeah,
FAF
Paul
won.
Miller-
FAF won. Paul Miller.
Sorry.
They won
two different
the,
classes.
Two different classes.
Yeah,
Ah, Jesus. Here we go.
TTM.
Don't get me going. Anyways, we'll have that conversation another day.
Yeah.
Anyways, because that Miller car is not. That's not an AM car.
I know that lineup is. Yeah.
That's stacked. It's Corey Lewis, right?
Corey
Lewis,
Madison
Snow,
Snow,
and Brian Sellers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's-
Yeah. Yeah. It's just like the Magnus guys too, with Andy and Spencer and John.
May I ask some of the Magnus guys for a second?
John Potter,
What?
Andy Lally, and Spencer
John
Pompelli.
Potter. Yeah.
Yes,
Yes,
I met-
Spencer. I want to hear
I
this.
met them on
Wait, that's right.
Friday in the paddock because I had one of the EWR shirts,
God bless.
and I want to get the former people that were on the show. And,
Matt, I'm paying you to come up here to go to Watkins Glen with us.
You heard it here.
You heard it for
Fine
first.
with me.
He's coming up to
Matt, we're bringing Matt to Watkins Glen.
Yes.
Well, I have to say that they're probably my favorite people in the paddock because
Oh!
Andy Lally is just singing Black Crow songs.
Yes.
Just, I asked Spencer Pompelli about the time he killed a guy, and
Oh,
Lally's just like 100% true. That did happen. And and then it's just great people.
And I heard a vicious rumor that you got a picture of Mr. Sean Heckman.
That is true. Two different photos, the one side by side and the one where he's just in the background doing his thing.
That's fantastic because Sean likes to send me birthday greetings, and I send him birthday greetings on Facebook.
Very, very true.
It's very true. And I got called out by Jordan Taylor on a Dinner with Racers Thursday Night Blunder race because Christian took Jordan Taylor out.
I didn't take.
Oh, wow.
I didn't take him out. I passed.
under my name on iRacing.
I passed.
Oh my god. Oh. So it was
Moving
Sean
on. Moving
who
on.
did it.
Moving on. Anyways, we'll talk about that later. But Matt, God bless you. Matt, you have to come hang with us. Seriously, we'll
One day.
fly you up. Seriously.
I'm a flying. I'll drive up all.
No. Whatever. We'll get you up here. You can take the Greyhound. We'll get you up here. Oh my God.
As long as it's not a plane.
Oh, you're not a flyer. Okay. All right. I got you. All right. That's fine.
See?
That's fine. Get you. We can take a boat, maybe. We can go by boat.
Oh, I told Derek Moore to fly up for the Glen, and he flew. And
Derek.
you know,
Yeah.
he's seen the 6 hours.
Anyways,
6 hours. Of
somehow
the Glen,
we'll figure it out. We'll have to meet up with Matt.
It'll happen.
Anyways,
It'll happen.
So that's awesome.
It'll happen.
All right.
That's gonna happen.
I think at this point we probably should wrap this up.
Yeah.
But I also want to give a shout out to Turner Motorsports for their fine win in Michelin Pilot Challenge. So great job.
And they podiumed in the 12 hours.
Yes, they did. So it was a big weekend for them.
It was a big weekend.
Local team. So from just over the border in New Hampshire.
Yeah. Hey, Sean, can you sing the Spirit of Massachusetts song?
The what?
What? No.
The Spirit of Massachusetts.
What are you talking about?
Spirit of Massachusetts is the spirit of America.
Nate. No.
What?
No.
Nate, it's not 2 a.m. yet. What are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing? Nate, this isn't Card Cup time. Yeah. So.
No. Oh.
All right.
Well, things mixed up.
All right. So.
Can I have one more thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, as Turner Racing is your local team, and they did you guys proud. My local team didn't do me proud. As mentioned earlier, of that one guy crashed into the Porsche. That's my local IMSA team. So.
Sean Creech.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It is what it is, but
maybe next time.
Well, hey, they take funded drivers. That's all right.
Yeah.
It felt bad. It just was bizarro. Sorry, I didn't mean to attack him, but it was just kind of like, it was kind of weird.
He may have been partying with the people in the track.
Oh, he might have been at Green Park. That might have been the thing.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Some of the people I saw at 1 p.m.
Nate.
Too many beers.
Nate, just FYI, Green Park puts your little mosh pit at Indy to shame.
Snake Pit is
The snake.
insane,
No. Green Park puts that to shame. Trust me.
That or apparently what is it? The parties at Talladega in Danfield.
But I'm not going to date myself. But the bog at Watkins Glen. If Pete Sigourney's listening, Pete will attest to this. The bog at Watkins Glen, where they burned a bus, was fantastic. They burned a Greyhound bus there. Yes.
So it's the Burning Man, but it's called Burning Greyhound.
Yeah, it's called the bog. But anyways, it's no longer exists. It's been taken care of. Anyways, anyways, Matt, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate. I love Matt's. I love what Matt brought to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I like the fact that Matt's dad's just like completely crazy. I love that. That's awesome.
In a good way.
In a great way. That's awesome. Like, I mean, that's awesome that he's like a fan. Yeah, I love it. I love that because I'm the same way.
Hey, we gotta keep the Polish pride somehow, so I don't blame him.
Hey, I met Roger Penske one time, and my daughter told me like not to do that, and I did it, and I had a 5-minute conversation with him, and it was like and at the end of it, he said, "Thank you so much for stopping and talking to me," and I was like, "Well, there you go."
I saw him last year and this year in the paddock, and I was so scared both times to go up to him. Like, that's Roger Penske. I can't go up to him like that.
No, this is what you do. You say, "Mr. Penske,
you're not worthy."
No, you just say, "Mr. Penske, do you have a second?" And he'll either say yes or no, and that's it.
But I did see Mike Helton. I saluted him. That's instead. So
yeah.
My God, in a golf cart, all I say is Mike Helton, sir, and salute him, and he just nods his head like, "Yup."
Awesome.
Sean, do you know who Mike Helton is?
Yes,
he's one of the.
Yes. Unfortunately, Mike got replaced by Bry Guy.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That turned out great.
That turned out well.
Oh well. You see what happened.
Which then had to make Jim France come back into the show and get everything righted. So, as soon as I get Jim's ear, and we get rid of stage racing, we'll be all set. And plates and speed limits
and the chase
and plates. Yep, speed limits on the pit lane. We'll get those unrestricted, and we'll be back to normal.
See.
Anyways,
there you go.
All right. Well, Matt, thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
My
That
pleasure.
was
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And we'll talk to you maybe next week. We're not 100% certain.
Next week,
We got a little
next week's show
scheduling
is
issue.
TBA. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little scheduling issue. So we might be on later. We have some alpine skiing to take place.
Tape delay.
Tape delay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but we'll catch up on Coda.
Yes.
Nate, I'm actually going to watch the race.
See, I give you plenty of reason.
I may
to
have
watch
to.
it.
Is the
It
Xfinity?
was who was the breaking straw that
Wait, whoa.
got you
Is,
into it?
is Xfinity racing next weekend?
Everyone is there.
Trucks are racing?
Yes.
No
Trucks racing too. Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Hold on. All right.
No stage racing.
I have the schedule. If anyone wants to look at the schedule, go to racer.com. And they have
Racer.com.
posted racing on the article is
is
racing
that
on TV
Kelly
March
Crandall?
24th to 26th.
Kelly does a great job, actually.
Fr-
Have to give a shout out.
Friday, March 24th is qualifying for all the series. So you got Xfinity, Cup, Craftsman, and I'm looking at the drag racing that's going on at Phoenix.
Yes. Tony Stewart will be there.
So that's from, these are all Eastern time. So from 6:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. at night, everything on Fox Sports 1. You got Xfinity, Cup, and then Craftsman qualifying. That means, wait a minute, 9 p.m. at,
What? What time is it?
no, that's got to be tape delay.
It's going to be
I'm
tape
sorry.
delay.
That's
It's probably a
Because
rerun.
even
Yeah,
it's 2 hours.
Yeah, it's 7 p.m.
7
to
p.m.
8:30. There's
Yeah,
no way.
Because we've been there at
We've
7
been
p.m.
there, yeah.
in the daylight, and
Yeah.
it's like
Sun-
that's going
sunset
to
is
dusk.
cool.
Sunset's cool in a Porsche
there's-
Cup race.
But they can't do. They can't do
they can't.
nighttime.
No.
Unless
Jordan
they-
Taylor
unless-
would automatically win.
Unless they have.
Jordan would win that.
Yeah.
Jordan
Well,
would win.
Didn't he win a race in the monsoon rain there one time?
No, they didn't. They had huge problems. We actually saw the WEC race. We actually saw that they had problems.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, I misspoke about Friday. The Cup Series is practicing on Friday,
Yeah.
and then they qualify on.
Do they have
on
any other
Saturday.
practice? It's just one practice in qualifying.
This is what's broadcasted. I don't know if there's more than
You don't have the
So there's
detail.
probably more than that. Probably.
All
maybe
Probably more.
maybe. So then
I know that Kimmy likes that because
Sa-
it's like a lot of reduced track time.
Saturday is the truck race. It looks like it's from 1:30 to 4, and then the Xfinity race is from 5 to 7:30. So 2 hours back.
2 hours back.
That, yeah.
So 3. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay.
No, they're not 2 hours, are they?
Yeah, they are. Same time zone as Colorado. It's 2 hours. Or is it an hour?
No, I think it's just an hour.
They're an hour?
I think it's just an hour, so like Central Time.
So when
Yeah.
we get to Denver, Denver's actually 2 hours.
Yes. Yeah, they're just an hour back.
Oh, okay.
Sorry,
All right, so that's cool.
misspoke.
All right.
Um,
All right. So the unfortunate thing is we have no Josh Williams in the Xfinity race. I will be supporting Josh. I will be buying. Nate, I'll send you the T-shirt.
Oh, geez. I'm going to need
Yeah,
that.
we're gonna need that.
Other racing that's going on this weekend. MotoGP.
Oh,
First race
season opener.
on Sunday.
Where?
They're in Portugal at,
Oh, cool.
at Algarve.
Nice.
So that's going
Sure
on.
to try to
as well.
catch that.
Other than NASCAR and MotoGP this week, upcoming this weekend, that's all we got. Nate will have to push your TKC season finale to next week. If
Oh, yeah,
okay
that's
with
fine.
you.
That's fine.
So,
Yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah. We have plenty
Yeah.
of time next
Yeah.
week.
That's
Or
right.
whatever.
all right.
And maybe Catalan will join us. Anyways.
Maybe Catalan will join
All right.
us, right? Yeah.
Okay, so appreciate Jim Paulette from New England Karting Challenge, powered with pride. Alex Gomes, who participated in the ice racing event and sometimes guest on the podcast. And Matt, appreciate your insight. That was awesome. And we can have you back. So appreciate.
Sounds good to me.
That'd be awesome. And Nate.
Good night.
Thank you guys for listening to the Red Mist Podcast, hosted by Christian Abbott, Sean Abbott, and Nathan Lavin. It's produced by Christian Abbott, and music is by Alex Wart and Harrison Tate.